What is up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Odds and Ends. Today you get a 2-for-1. I'm going to show you how to tear down an Xbox 360 controller, and we're going to replace these thumbsticks. All right, so this comes to us via a viewer request from Dude. You guys remember I got this Xbox 360 a couple of pickup videos ago, if not last pickup video, depending on when you see this. But I took it apart, I cleaned it up. It works great, bangs like a champ, man. This thing, like, no stuttering, spitting, grinding, anything like that. Now, the staining that was on there, I don't know if you can see it. There it is. This is all clean surface, but it is stained the plastic, unfortunately. So I'm sure you could retro bright it or bleach it or buy another shell or something like that. The only thing that does not work with this console is this eject button. You can open the eject drawer with the controller, but you can't do it with the button for whatever reason. It doesn't grind, you know, it doesn't give you that sound like it wants to open but then doesn't open. So I'm sure that that button is broken. I may have to, do the old boil it and bend it trick. But anyway, today, so if anybody knows what's going on with that, leave a comment down below. Today we are going to take apart one of these controllers. I've already taken them apart and cleaned them. I thought about making a video, in all honesty, but then I thought there are so many Xbox 360 controller teardown videos out there that no one would watch it. But somebody actually requested it. Dude requested it, so this video is for you. You will need a set of tools, a special set of tools or torque screwdrivers to take apart your console and your controllers. I'll leave a link to that down below. I'm not affiliated with that eBay seller at all, but I've used the tools. They work great. The guys shipped fast, and they were like $8. So I also ordered a bunch of replacement thumbsticks for these controllers. So we will replace them. Let's just get to work. Okay, so our kit real quick comes with a Torque 6, 8, and 10 screwdriver. Comes with a micro Phillips head screwdriver, this blue wedge, a little dust brush, and then these two wedges and scraper guys. So not a bad buy. Get the tripod set up here. Okay, so here's our 360 controller. These things cleaned up really nice, actually. Took a couple extra seconds. So I'm going to take you through my entire process of taking down the 360 controller so you can clean it, or you can change the outer shells, the buttons. They do a lot of cool mods and stuff for this controller. But the first thing, if we're going to do any of that, we have to be able to take it apart first. So we'll take our Torque 8 screwdriver, take the battery compartment off, and you can see that there are six screw holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's get those out. All right, so you're going to get those 6 screws out, and you're going to go, why can't I get this thing apart? Well, that's because there is a secret screw located underneath this sticker, the sticker that's got the barcode on it. So this tool is perfect. See, it's got this flat sort of edge. What you can do is just peel gently, and you can actually peel up that sticker. Now, tweezers sold separately. I got these at the dollar store. You can reach in there, and you can pull this sticker out, set it aside. Ooh, and there is our 7th screw. So let's take that out. Okay, so now we have all 7 of the screws taken out. Remember, when this is dirty and there's caked up nonsense and grossness in there, it may not just fall apart right in your hand. You may have to kind of give it a little slap and tickle to get it to come apart. But these were just clean, so it should come apart with no problem. This part, it'll get caught on this part a lot right here, right through this gray piece. But don't force it. Don't smack it on the table. It should just pop right open, no problem. Get around on the other side. And it's usually these back parts that give you the most problem. So, there we go. Oh, we see the rumble. That's why we never pull anything apart real hard. But there's the bottom of the controller. So we'll take that part. You know what? We'll just set it right there. Looking at the board should all come out in one piece. Like so. Kind of give it a little force, not too much. And not breaking the wires on your rumble feature. So here is the board. We've taken it up, we've taken it out and taken it apart. Let's put this aside just 1 second. Here are all of the plastic pieces that go in there. Now these only go in one way. So this only goes back into the controller this way. We'll take that off. We'll take the rubber backings off. That's pretty standard controller stuff. We'll take this gray piece off. Okay, we'll dump the buttons out. And there we go. You'll notice that the D-pad didn't come out. Say you wanted to clean your D-pad. How does that come out? Well, it's going to be a little difficult to see, and I don't know why they chose to do this, but if you can see right down in there, there are 2 Phillips head screws. They're very small screws, and they use this screwdriver that came with our kit. So let's get that out of there. All right, so we've taken those 2 screws out, and you're like, D-pad's not coming out. Well, this may not show up on camera that well. Let me try and bring the light over. Inside, there are 2 there are 2 little clips right there. You can see them right there. And all you got to do is find something to push in on one of those. So you'll push in on the tab and down. So we'll push in on this bottom tab. And we'll push down and it'll pop right out. So these are all the plastic pieces that will come out of the controller, minus the thumbsticks, which we'll talk about in a second. So what I will do is I will get a Tupperware and I'll fill it with hot, very hot, soapy water, and I'll dunk all of this in there and I'll let it sit in that water for about 10 or 15 minutes. All right, well, let's pull this guy back in here and we'll talk about the other side first. So we've got our bottom triggers, okay? I do not take these off. If I need to clean those, what I'll do is I'll just take a Q-tip and I'll just scrub them off. These things are very difficult to get off, and there's sort of a technique to it. So if you're just going to do like 1 or 2 controllers, I would not recommend even bothering with these. But you can kind of see, okay, first of all, they're spring loaded. You can see the spring right there. So if you take this off and that spring shoots off, it's going to get lost. And if you can't find it, then you're not going to have the trigger, right? But this bar actually will bend to the right and it will come off of that post. See, it's sitting on a post and it will come off of that piece right there. Once that comes off, then this trigger piece will slide off and you can clean it. But like I said, for our purposes, just take a Q-tip with some rubbing alcohol and clean off all those parts, clean in there, you know, and just get it real nice and clean. And then I'll take a Q-tip and I'll go over the board like so, over all the chips and little diodes and capacitors and whatchamabobbies and thingy-madoos, all of that stuff. And then we'll go over to the other side. These are very easy to take off your thumbsticks. They just pull straight up. Bing, bang, boom. There we go. These, if this goes bad, if you have a mechanical type issue, this may need to be soldered off and buy a replacement. But what you want to do while you're in here is clean off all of these contacts right here. Anywhere where the D-pad, where you push down on the buttons and it contacts the board, you want to clean all of those off with just regular alcohol and Q-tips. Now the replacement thumbsticks, I can already tell you they don't really feel, they feel a little lighter, you know what I mean? So those just snap on. Nothing crazy there. Should be pretty self-explanatory. Now, what I've also heard is after play, this is sort of the movement thumbstick, and this is sort of the, you know, the reticle or the sight scope or whatever, the movement. This is like forward movement. This is like camera type stuff. After a while, on the inside of these where that hole is, that will start to get worn out in the up direction. So if you regularly take apart your controllers, just rotate your thumbsticks and you'll get a little bit more life out of them. But that's all there is to it. We've got everything cleaned. All of our stuff is dry. Let's put this bad boy back together. All right, so after we've let our parts dry, we air dry them, and then sometimes I'll take a Q-tip and go into some of these deeper pockets and get the water out. But once it's dry, we'll put our pieces back in. D-pad goes in. These pieces only go in one way, so don't be intimidated. You know, you can take a picture with your phone if you wanted to show you what color combination is. And then make sure you put your rubber plates back on your buttons. Next, we'll add these bumper and back pieces. Now you'll see this doesn't fit on this way, right? So I'm sorry, it doesn't fit on, yeah, it doesn't fit on this way, right? If we tried to put it on that way, that just looks silly. That's not part of the controller. So it only goes on one way, which is nice that they make it like that. So there we go. Get everything lined up and in its spot. This back part can be a little tricky, but you'll notice that there's a hole in the center. Just line it up with this hole right here. And then there's a couple on the posts that'll line up nicely. Get in there, it'll snap right into place. Now, I have seen people take this part and put it in here, and then they try and sandwich it over. I don't know what the hell they're doing. Don't do that. Just take your board part, put it in there like so. Get your rumble features back in there like that. And then lift up on it and make sure that it goes, you know, back in the holes and the slots that it's supposed to go into. And everything will be just fine. Now the back part will take a little bit of doing because of these right here where the battery contacts are. You can't actually put it together like this. You have to kind of go around the batteries, but you also have to be able to hit the trigger buttons. So what I do is I do the trigger buttons first, like so. I kind of loop it around like that. And then what I do is I take my fingers and I'll push the battery parts through the battery compartment there. Everything will line up. Should snap together very nicely. If it doesn't, don't force it. Just take it apart and figure out what's wrong. Usually what's wrong is the cords for the rumble strip. They're on the outside. You want to put those on the inside. See if I can show you that. And this is what I'm talking about. These cables right here, if for some reason you have those on the outside, it could get caught on the side here, it could get caught in here, and it won't allow it to close properly. So you just want to make sure that you always put those on the inside where they can't get caught on anything. So once again, we'll just hook our triggers like so. And then with our fingers, we will push the battery pack. And then everything should just snap right back into place. We'll get our 7 screws back in there. And we will call that a success. All right, so we got our 7 screws back in. There's our battery pack, and our controller is put back together. Let's take a. These are actually nice and soft. I kind of like the tops of these replacement thumbsticks. I got these from a U.S. seller. They were $10. They were $9.99 for 10 of them, and that included shipping. So I'm sure this person gets them from China in a 50 pack for like 20 bucks, and then resells them, which is fine. But I wanted to go with an American seller. But that's the difference right there between a thumbstick replacement and using the old thumbsticks. Looks a heck of a lot better. And I do like that it's a darker gray. Looks really cool. But guys, thank you so much for stopping by the channel and checking this out. If you guys have any other Xbox 360 techniques that you guys use taking apart controllers or consoles, leave a comment down below. I'm sure people will be more than happy to check those out. And if you know anything about my console, what's going on with my eject button, please let me know. I fear that it is a bad button because the drive isn't struggling to open. So anyway, guys, thanks for stopping by, and we will see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves.